We got one,
They're close.
we want to wait, probably.
Well,
Give me 30 seconds.
yeah, he was just wanted to do a sound check, but it looked like the stream had come up, so start it. Otherwise, I mean, you have your opening prayer and stuff?
Oh, no. Where this is the Iron County Commission meeting, Monday, the 12th day of September, 2022. And we will have John Whitaker give us a prayer, and I'll lead us in the pledge.
Our Father in heaven, we are grateful this morning to feel the cool of the fall air finally. We're grateful for a little storminess. We pray that thou will bless our lands with much needed moisture and fill our mountains with snow this winter. We are grateful to live in a wonderful part of the world. We love Iron County. We pray that thou wilt help us to do the best that we can for it. We pray that the meeting this morning might be productive and respectful. We pray that all the opinions might be expressed with care and kindness and thoughtfulness. We pray that thou wilt bless our county and our land, that those who are struggling may be lifted up. We pray that we might be able to do more as neighbors and as friends to help those around us. We're grateful to live in a place where we have freedom of expression and to pursue happiness in our own way. We pray that we can serve well and fulfill the oaths that we've made to thee and to the Constitution. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Will you follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Sorry we're a little late getting started. We had the power out last night, and it took us a little bit to get the computers and stuff going. So, can we get a motion on the minutes? 8/22/2022.
Let's see, 8/22/22.
August 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve the minutes of August 22nd, 22.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's see. I'll make a motion for approval of claims for payments from August 22nd, 2022 to September 11th, 2022.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Got that taken care of. All right. We will move to departmental reports. Dan. Auditor.
Good morning, 2/3 of the commission. So, I'm not going to address the elephant in the room.
There's an elephant in the room?
You sure?
I'm not going anywhere anytime really shortly, but I'm sure most everybody has heard that, and I will be working through it. But I will be county auditor for a few months for sure. I have accepted a city manager appointment in Parowan City, and so I'm super excited. I'm also heartbroken to leave the county when that day comes, but I just
Not
want
as much as we are.
Well, I'm sure there's a few that are celebrating. I'm the weak link. We all know it.
Oh no.
So there is, but I'm committed to both. I know that no man can serve two masters. It says in the book of Matthew. I'm quite capable of putting a lot of hours in and doing a lot of things, but I do know that you can't really give 100% of yourself into capacities. So my plan is to get through the election, and then when the election is done in November, then I will announce a specific date, and then we can work through the transition process and all that stuff. And that's my plan. So, but I will be of necessity not here as much during the 8 to 5. I will probably be working in Parowan 7 to 3-ish, and then come up here in the later afternoons into the evening. It will take some weekend work and things like that. So if you need me and you call my phone, I mean, for the past month, I've been trying to take some time. I've been trying to finish my barn, but summer is the rare time that I actually get to take a day or two off here and there. And so it has been a little bit erratic for the past few weeks. I apologize for that, but
Plus, you've had a missionary come home.
missionary come home. Everything has just been crazy. Daughter move out. So that's life for you, right? It would be boring if it was otherwise, but it has been a crazy summer. But everybody has my cell phone. If you call my office number and I'm not there, call my cell phone. If you need to meet with me, we'll probably have to do it on an appointment basis. But I will be here. I'm committed to keep the ball rolling. Some things that I've been involved in special projects and helping out with this and that. I'm going to have to back off on a lot of those and make sure that the auditor duties for sure are done. So I don't know how that, I'm happy to be involved as much as I can in getting things done. My main concern is that we very much get through the budget process. I'm sending out budget worksheets this week to the department heads. I usually like to give them a couple of weeks and have them due by October 1st so that we can get budget hearings scheduled in the middle of October. So department heads will be getting those budget worksheets. There's a lot of questions and interaction that usually happens as they get them. Actually, I think what happens is most department heads, I'm going to look at two in the back. I'm not pointing any fingers at them. I'm just saying, for example, we have some department heads here. They're awesome. But some of them get them to me right at the first, and some of them wait till they're like, oh, Dan said they were due this day. And then next thing you know, then we scramble. But it's good. I understand everybody has their seasonality and their busy times and all that stuff. But just knowing the fact that I'm going to be at a somewhat limited capacity, maybe jump on them ahead of time, and we can work out any issues as there's questions and detail reports that are needed to be pulled and all that stuff. My office staff is good. We did have some turnover. Allie left us. Allie Meisner, who was a part-time, did accounts payable. So do me a favor, give August a little bit of breathing room, because she's now going to be resuming 100% of the accounts payable until we get our new person put in. We're doing interviews this Wednesday, and this is her busy time of year for abatements. So August is going to be kind of running ragged for the next at least couple weeks, and then she'll be training the new accounts payable person. So then we'll get back to normal. So anyways, exciting times. We were really sad to lose Allie. She went back to work. She went to work full time for her dad, Alex Meisner. So anyways, she was just great. She was great at the county, and we were sad to lose her. So anyways, hopefully we can get somebody new, good, to replace her. We're heavily doing Board of Equalization applications, and I think the majority of the angry calls due to the taxes have gone away for now. We have a big burst of them, and it hits everybody in the office. Specifically, my office and the assessor's office probably take the brunt of it, but they call everybody when the evaluation notices first hit. And then the second big round is when Nicole's tax bills go out. Then we get a huge, round of that. But we will be processing all of the Board of Equalization. That we're coming right up on the deadline for applications of that this week. So if you know of anybody that wants to appeal their value, this is state statute. They've got to get that in by September 15th. I'm positive it's September 15th. I'm 98% sure it's September 15th. And then we start working with the assessor's office. Some of them, they both agree ahead of time it doesn't go to a hearing, but the ones that request a hearing, and we have to do all those hearings. So of course, we hire those hearing officers. You guys are officially the Board of Equalization, but most of that work happens within my office. Carrie is the one that is the superstar and just runs that whole thing. But I would like to personally invite the commissioners, as I usually do, to sit in on some of those board hearings. At the end of the day, it's your signatures that are on any of the adjustments that we do and what the adjustments are. Now, so we hire really good hearing officers. They're certified appraisers. They've been in this role for a long time. But I do like the commissioners, if they can, to come in and sit on one of these hearings or a couple of them to see what really is going on as the property owner presents their evidence and the assessor presents their evidence, and the hearing officer has to cut the baby in half, metaphorically speaking, and make a decision, which you guys ultimately agree to not abate, but adjust that value. So I already talked about abatements. Talked about budget worksheets. This year is going to be kind of interesting because we just barely did we basically burned up all of our dry powder in that big salary increase. So for budget time, we're going to be needing to I've been keeping an eye. In fact, I started a new tracking device to really kind of keep track of our revenues. I haven't seen any slowdown in sales tax or anything yet. Fuel tax has such a long delay of when it finally comes in. But I haven't seen anything that's a red flag for revenues. But we're going to, of necessity, need to be really conservative as we approach the budget this year, just because we did increase salaries and wages. The burden on the county, I don't know if everybody happened to see a major increase in their own pay. Some did, some didn't, but the burden on the county was very large. So we're going to have to be pretty conservative as we look at things this year. So anyways, and I'll put some language to that effect in the email that goes out to all the department heads as they're doing their budget requests. But just want to say how much I love Iron County. I love working here. Change is good, although it's hard, and so. But I'm committed. I'm here. I'm not going to let any of the big balls drop, and that's my report.
You'll let us know when those hearings are.
Yeah.
So that we can.
Yep.
Get to some.
I'll let you know, because what she typically does is she'll do a couple of days one week, kind of like how we do budget hearings, and then a couple of days the next week. That way, if people are gone that week, then we can at least shoehorn them into one week or another, and it's a good experience. Sometimes it's kind of tense, but it's like you should get like a civil merit badge for going to one of those, because you really learn about the process and your role in that. It's all of your authority as that is all playing out. So it's really good for the commission to be involved if they can, but don't feel like you have to be to all of them. So, but If you can come to one, that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, tourism, Parks and Rec, Maria Twitchell.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you.
I would
Yeah.
set one. They're just setting them all over here. So,
Okay, so we'll start with tourism. So right now we're about at 54% of our tourism budget and 61% of our restaurant tax budget that we've spent. Collections to date. So TRT collections are trending about the same as last year. And restaurant collections are up about 10% over 2021. Now, this is because of inflation. So prices have gone up, and so everyone's bill is higher than it was last year. A lot of our restaurants are saying they're not seeing as many people. So,
it's just that the prices have gone up.
yeah. And so the tax revenue is, on that is one of the reasons why. And so we're going to watch that pretty close.
You feel like people are cutting back a little bit with the price of things?
Yeah.
Well, tourism is down too, right?
Yeah. Tourism is, so our occupancy is down 6% over last year. Our average daily rate is actually up, which is, again, inflation. The cost of doing business has gone up. But, you tax on that bottom line, the price. And so it does help with the collection aspect. But, yeah, it's definitely down. Now, across the state, it's down on average about 7.5. So we're in line with everybody else.
Didn't we kind of expect that with COVID?
Oh, yeah.
With all that money floating out there.
Yeah, and a lot of things are inflation related. Some of it is also related
Prices,
to
yeah.
gas prices. Also other areas were not open, particularly like your foreign travel. So people who wanted to go to Europe during COVID couldn't go. Now they're going. And then other bigger destinations that were harder to get to, like Hawaii, that's been on everyone's, you've been seeing everybody going to Hawaii this year because it's a lot easier. So that has an impact on tourism. Our revenues, right now we're just seeing what was collected in June, even though it says August on our report. They're 2 months behind. So this is the big these are the big months coming up. Where we'll see what is actually happening. I still feel pretty good about what is happening in tourism in our area. I have heard some stories from some other locations, and I think that we're very fortunate. And I feel like we can get through inflation and a possible recession because we've done it before. Next month next meeting I'll be coming to you with a grant request that we're putting in with the Utah Office of Tourism just for your approval. This is our usual winter grant that we do with them. We're working hard on tourism advertising. Our campaigns are going strong. We're now into our fall and starting our winter campaigns. I've provided you with an earned media report for the month of July. We had what we call the advertising equivalent of $228,000 plus in advertising from these media hits. Major outlets that included ABC4, Only in Your State, and Travel Awaits. We also had a 9-page article in Utah Life magazine, and I have attached that so you can see. You can see what that looks like. It was really
awesome.
Very nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very nice.
We helped coordinate that writer. We are finishing up for the 125th for the SUU. We're finishing up a video series regarding the history of the Utah Shakespeare Festival. And so on your report, there's a QR code. You can scan that QR code, and that will take you to that series, and you can watch that. And we'll be starting on a new series called our Wonder Series. These are videos that are told from a first-person perspective regarding local attractions like Parowan Gap, Cedar Breaks, the Shakespeare Festival. Basically, we follow a person or a visitor around, or someone who's really ingrained in our tourism, like a tourism stakeholder, and they tell why they love something so much from their perspective. It's just engaging content. The thing they're working on the most right now is we're working with our consultant Coraggio Group on our destination development plan. This will guide our office for the next 5 to 10 years. We have a core committee that works on that plan with us, along with Coraggio. But we do have a stakeholder meeting, which will be on Monday, September 19th from 3 to 4:30, and we would invite you as commissioners to join us. That is a Zoom meeting, and so the next QR code on your report, if you scan that, that will take you to that Zoom meeting. And you will have the opportunity to put in your input in regards to how you see tourism in Iron County, how you want it to keep moving forward, some of your concerns. So, and we're inviting all of our stakeholders to be part of that meeting. And that's pretty much everything on tourism. Do you have any questions? Lots of good stuff going on there.
So when we scan this QR code, can we have it put in our calendar, or how does that work?
I'll send you a
Things like-
calendar invite.
Do that. That would
Yeah.
be so helpful.
That would be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I just
For
want to
both
make
of them.
Yes, but I wanted to make sure you had
Yeah,
if you
that-
wanted to share it or what, you can. So
Perfect.
if anyone you want to share that with, please do. So,
Very good.
okay. Outdoor rec. Parks and Rec.
That's a separate page.
Thank you.
So as far as Parks and Rec is, we're at 50% of our budget spent this year. I did want to talk for a moment about some things were brought up in the last commission meeting regarding things that were happening with the parks, and that there was like we weren't vetting our events fully. And so I just wanted to talk about that and what our process is so that you understand what we do with events. And I've attached what we have. So our events, when anyone brings an event to the parks, they have to go through a special event permit application. And that's attached to your report so you can see what it is. It is updated slightly from the one that I gave you, Commissioner Wood. I had to update Preston's contact information to Bruce. So that's been updated. But basically, I just want you to understand that we do go through a vetting process for events. We take it very seriously. We have turned away an event because they haven't gone through the process fully. They do have to fill out the application. And then they're given a checklist of items that they do have to provide us before their event is permitted. And those things include, they have to provide us with a site plan, an event schedule, their sanitation, safety, and traffic plan. They also have to provide a $1 million liability insurance policy that indemnifies the county. Any event that's bigger than 250 people or is a motorized event, no matter its size, has to provide an EMS level of medical service. And their safety and traffic plan must be discussed with Lieutenant Dave Mitchell at the sheriff's office. I do not sign that permit until I hear back from him that he has gone through that with them. For any event that spills over into other areas of the county, they are provided with a contact list of agencies and other county departments, including the county clerk, sheriff, and road department, in which they should contact to discuss their event. Signage is posted a week in advance along Mid-Valley Road that notifies the public of that there is an event in the area. However, we're particularly challenged with Three Peaks because the BLM is the majority landowner, and they try to keep as much public land open at all times and only close specific areas for an event. So this is what causes some of the problems that we have there out there, because our area is closed, but their Rocky Peak campground is not. And so it's my understanding that they did not communicate that with their checkoff people, with the race people. And so that caused a lot of confusion as to what was happening in the race area. So that does create some issues for us, because all we can say is our part of the park is closed, while theirs remains open. But moving forward, I've met with John and Chanel, and we're working on a new event process so that it can be countywide, and I think it's going to be very, very good. And I'm looking forward to that being out there. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Moving on, in consideration of our budget, we will have a little bit over on our vehicle budget because Bryce got a new truck and we had to outfit it for a new snow plow. And we didn't budget that for that this year. So we're going to see where we can take that from in the other parts of the
What
budget.
did he use last year? Did he have one on another truck?
Yeah, he had one on the other truck.
Not transferable? Or?
It's not wise to do that. Plus, it would be nice to have the two trucks. If
We'll have two.
Kept
Now
the
we'll
other
have
truck.
to.
Yeah, that's a really great idea.
So,
Well, and how much has your, surface area that you have to do in a storm increased? I'm just thinking about,
our new park.
yeah.
So the new park we will not have open during the winter time, so that won't be a problem. So, but if we have, we do have to call upon the road department quite often,
To help
and
with that.
to
If
help with
it's-
that.
Sometimes it's a foot deep up to Woods Ranch,
Sometimes
right?
it's more than that.
That
Or
is
more.
5.
Sometimes,
There's
and when that happens, we have to have.
I had
road-
one incident where the truck was kind of buried.
Yeah, I had pictures and everything of who was buried. So we have to include them on when it gets to that point. The best thing for us to do is to make sure that that place is cleared all the time so it doesn't build up and the ice doesn't build up. Because once the ice builds up, that's where the problems come.
And it's in the shade much of the winter.
It is in the shade much of the time.
Winter.
So Bryce is amazing. And he's amazing. I can't tell you how amazing. I just cannot
He is
tell you how
great.
good he is.
He is really great.
So, and he's watching. So
But we're not.
Bryce
we're
is
not
okay.
lying.
we're not lying.
We are not lying.
So, well,
Good.
he will be watching. He's very conscientious. So we definitely had some increased prices regarding the new truck, and we're grateful for that new truck. It's very good.
Talk to me about a tool pull-out mechanism.
Are you going to come to that demo by chance?
When was that?
Oh, it's next week.
He mentioned it.
It's Thursday.
I'm not.
We're
I think
at
I had a conflict.
that conference.
Oh,
conference.
oh no.
Yeah, I think he mentioned that, but I told him I was out of town. So.
Okay. Well,
But those are very. We use them in our work trucks, and they're very efficient. Where you can pull out and grab what you need without unloading everything. It really is good. So
Otherwise,
it's a
you
good
pile everything, right?
well, and it's helpful for us in terms of the resell. When you want to resell the truck, it's not going to be that big of a deal to make that truck resellable. So, rather than having a different body on it, park reservations and collections are slightly up through August from last year, and just slightly, like a couple of dollars. I'm going to look at trying to figure out a way where people can pay with their credit card, probably through a QR code that goes into like instant payments, because we've had that requested of us, and I'm kind of wondering
That
how
would be
much we're
nice.
missing out in terms of revenue. So we're going to be looking at that. As far as the workload, a majority of our work is definitely on the new park with 5 Mile, and the progress is incredible. I'm very, very pleased with where we're at. Our desire is to open in next year, at least with the 6 picnic spaces, but it's still contingent on whether or not we can get the water tank, we can get the host camp spot, and the group areas and the amphitheater. Those are all still up in the air, and that's because we're still waiting on the Forest Service to make a decision. So A lot is contingent upon them, but it is still our desire to try and have something open next year. The fence is completed. I included a picture of that. It looks beautiful. The sites are very well done. And I just want to say thank you to Bryce and our seasonal Scott Wilson. They have worked incredibly hard on that project. It's a project.
Project. I've gone up several days and walked through it, and the progress is just amazing. And the road crew that went in and put the new gravel on it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is nice.
The red rock looks nice.
It
doesn't
does. It really
It's really
does.
cool looking.
Yep.
We do need more, just so you know.
Okay.
So we do need to finish some spaces, but and some places on the road, but we can talk to you and Bruce about that later.
Okay.
The delays on Highway 14 definitely have made it difficult to keep it maintained, but they have done a really great job of doing it. I appreciate everything that Bryce and Scott have been
That'll
doing.
be so nice when that's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last we heard it will be mid-October, which was, we were told August, but okay. But we'll start winterizing soon and be ready for the winter recreation as soon as the snow flies. So, and Bryce did attend his state water conference last week, which is part of his requirements in order to maintain our water system. So we're happy he can do that for us. Do you have any questions regarding Parks and Rec?
You probably have to put 5 Mile on your permit. On
Yes.
your event permit.
Yep, I will. I don't know what we would what kind of event we would
May
do up
have-
there.
You may have some events like in the group area.
Yeah, we'll actually do a reservation form for that group
Yeah.
area, just like we
Yeah.
do for the other parks.
So there may not be this whole process that they need to go through for that.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I would probably make sure that like the half marathon that comes down Yankee Meadow Road, I would probably still have them fill out a permit. Just so, because I know they put some stations at that picnic area, and maybe they'll utilize it a little bit
I'm
more
hoping we can have a permit that's
countywide.
but that is like functional enough that something like that would still kind of make sense to use. That it's not too weird or different. That
They're too complicated.
Yeah,
or
we don't-
whatever.
yeah,
we-
right.
Kind
Yeah.
of simple and
You hired me to get events to come here,
yes.
and I've done
yes.
that.
Yeah.
So,
And we need to be
let's
able to competently vet things, which we do. But it'll be nice to have it be a little more.
And John was telling me that we'll probably put that all onto a email group,
Yeah.
and that will be very helpful. I think that'll be really good. That's going to help our events.
We'll run the risk of over communicating instead of.
which
Under-
is always going to
Yep.
be better.
Yep.
But like even this weekend, I thought the race went really well. It was the VIPs were there, and I thought it went really well. And we actually had another event happening on the other side of where the BLM on their land, and it seemed to be.
It was
worked out
interesting.
fine.
We ran into probably 3 or 4 different outfits coming home from that at Fillmore. They were stopping at Fillmore, but they were all 25 mountain bikes in their trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
They're serious.
They're serious, and they have an amazing impact on our community. So.
Oh yeah,
It's been a good thing.
yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Maria. Okay, let's go to the Sheriff Ken Carpenter.
Good morning.
Morning.
Give John a second to pull up the PowerPoint. Go ahead and go to the next slide if you would, John. Our mental health unit is we still don't have anybody take over that. We've been working with Cedar PD. They've got a officer that's interested in taking over the lead on the mental health unit. So, we're getting that back up and running again. But our Tier 2 deputies have been doing a great job and still going out and responding to mental health calls and providing a great service in the community. With the SWAT team, the Metro SWAT team, They're still very busy. We've had 10 calls out so far this year. The last one was out in Burl on a shooting that took place out there. The Drug Task Force is very active. We're seeing a lot of fentanyl cases. There's a new type of fentanyl called rainbow fentanyl, which is to attract children to the use of
All different
fentanyl.
colors, right?
What's that?
Looks like candy.
Yeah, and so that's we haven't seen any rainbow fentanyl here in Iron County yet, but it is in the state, and it's a matter of time till we'll be seeing it. So it's something that people need to be aware of, and especially parents. Meth is on the rise again in the county. We've been still seeing quite a bit of cocaine and heroin coming in. So far, one of our traffic units, Wade Lee, has had 3 pipelines and has been very effective with that. Highway Patrol's had several pipelines as well. The border still affects us. That's part of what is leading to these rises in drug and in different sex crimes and things like that, are all because of the very porous, very open border. Just as a reminder, the Senate Bill 179, the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, requires counties to have their own coordinating council by January 1st of 2023. So we need to make sure that we have that in place. Next slide there. Just some of our some things we've been dealing with over the course of the year. We've had 7 aggravated assaults. We've used the helicopter on 8 different occasions. We've also got a new state helicopter down in St. George, which is a benefit to us as it has a long boom for rescuing people out of slot canyons and things like that. So we've got two helicopters in the area now, which is good for the region. Agency assists, we're up to 200 agency assists. We were at 122 in June, so you can see that we're very active in supporting the other agencies in the county. We had 18 burglaries, 19 child abuse or neglect calls, 122 felony offenses, 46 fires, 24 canine call-outs, 6 mental health call-outs, 662 misdemeanor offenses, 908 other offenses, 4 public relations, 8 search and rescues, 13 sex crimes against children, 24 sex crimes of other category, 29 welfare checks, 206 drug cases, 17 DUIs, and 211 animal problems, for a total of 4,308 reports. And that's actual reports that we've taken. That doesn't count just calls for service that come through dispatch. We're much higher with just calls for service. Our current strength of patrol, I can't thank the commission enough and emphasize enough what that pay increase has done for us. We are currently back up to strength if our 2 deputies that are currently in post both graduate next month. So as long as they both graduate and we get them both through FTO, we'll be back up to strength again. We just had a graduation last Thursday, post-graduation last Thursday, where Brandon Rowley is now LE certified and is working on the patrol side. He was one of our deputies over on the correction side and has come over to patrol. We also are starting a new deputy today, Andrew Smart, that was a deputy in Wyoming and has come to us out of his county in Wyoming. And we currently, like I say, we've gotten 2 in post, Skylar Barrett and Scott Smith, both hopefully will graduate in October. On the next slide there, John. Last 24 months, we've had over 12 new extensions or to current or new subdivisions. And that's really starting to impact us. We're seeing these new families moving into our area, and it's affecting our calls for service. So one of the things that we are really going to need to look at, and I know that the budget is tight, but we've got to look at increasing our patrol deputies just to be able to keep pace with the growth of the county and to be able to provide proactive service that we've always provided. We've got to be looking towards that. Our vehicles are a mess. I've stated before that we had 19 vehicles ordered through Ford. Ford canceled the order. Wade started working with Chevrolet to get an order. We thought we had an order. That went belly up. Now we've got another order in with Ford. We think that we're going to get 9 new vehicles in 2023, but there's no guarantee of that.
They said that they issued the VIN numbers. That's a really good sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's a really good sign.
That is a good sign. We do have 7 long beds coming in, which will be used for investigations and administrative roles because they're just really too long for the deputies out on patrol out in the county. And we're happy to report that the sheriff's complex is moving forward again, so we're excited about that. Our budget is in good shape. The patrol budget is at 55.12%. I've got April in there because I didn't change it on the slide, but it's actually August. The jail budget's at 58.92%. Search and rescue's at 57%. The one place that we're over is on overtime, and that's just because we've been so short of personnel on both the patrol and the jail side. So on our patrol budget, our overtime is at 96.59%, and our corrections budget is at 123.27%. And that's the one part that's really been hurting us over the course of this last year. Every place else we're in good shape. Are there any questions at all that I can answer?
Good.
No.
And just for you, Commissioner Blake, there's a Forest Service contract sitting on your desk there. Thanks.
It's signed.
Okay. Shalon, corrections.
Thank you, Madam.
Hi. All right. So like the sheriff said, our budget's at 59%. Our culinary costs they're a little higher. What we're seeing is we order, and then because it's not available, it doesn't come. So what we've had to do is we have to bulk order so that we can actually, if they plan their meals and then their one item doesn't come in, then we have to replan at the last minute. So we have started to order a little bit of bulk in there just so that we can make sure that we actually have the items we need for the meals. Our bookings are going up. Our population has gone down just a tad, which is great. We love the cushion there. Where that comes from is the court has been kicking. So we have seen a lot of our inmates get sentenced, and what happens there is they either go to prison or they get sentenced with their credit for time served and get released. Where that hurts us is on our work crew, because we have such high restrictions for our work crew, so we are having a hard time finding workers that meet the criteria to go out to work. Our work crew did help out a lot with the fair, which was good. We're very sad. We're losing our work crew supervisor, Deputy Burr. And he gave us till the end of the 1st of October, which was great. They're going to take him over there to be a bailiff, which that was his hope. So it is good to be able to see that work out for him. We're replacing him with Deputy John Groom, and he'll be phenomenal as well. We currently have 2 vacancies. We have a posting that closes on Thursday to to make a roster for those. Sergeant Anderson retired. We lost one to the CCPD, and like the sheriff said, we lost Deputy Rowley. I mean, they gained him, but
You lost him.
we lost him. Yes. We have seen some great things since our wage increase. We were able to get Clayton Smith back. He only left us for 10 months to go to Beaver and came back, so that was a great. We were able to pick up a deputy out of Gunnison, and so that's been really great. We have 2 in post. We have our medical tech, our new medical tech, and we have 1 deputy up there right now. Long-term leave, we've had a lot. We, of course, have our active full-time military, Sergeant Hansen, that's been gone, and 6 FMLAs. We medical reasons and lots of babies. So FMLA really has been hurting us as far as keeping our staff at the numbers we need to, hence the overtime. Deputy Ethan Bussey, he graduated post. He actually graduated top of his class in physical, and he was the smart kid. So he kind of just swept all the wards up there. So that was really neat to see him come from Iron County, and he's huge. He's very tall. So he kind of and he wears this big cowboy hat. The sheriff's proud of him. So it was really great. He kind of owned the whole stage up there. So that was good. We had a big car accident in Provo. We sent 4 of our deputies up to training. They got hit coming through a 6-lane road, not on the freeway, but a car came out, their fault. But they sent one of them by ambulance to the hospital. They all got checked out, but they're on the mend. Our car is not. Our car is pretty trashed, but so we're down 1 training vehicle. We did the job fair last week at SUU, and
I would imagine if it gets totaled, that the other driver's insurance will end up covering it. The problem is it takes time.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. And they can use my truck, but I got hit going up to pick them up to bring them home. I got hit by this huge tire tread, and so my whole front, my hood, I even took it over to get an estimate. And they're like, if you weren't wearing your uniform, we would not believe that that's from a tire tread. You'll have to look at my hood. It's pretty crazy. So it's
There's cars in the pool, I'm sure that
you
can use too.
Yeah. So we'll get it under control. We have some old vans. We can put our deputies back in the cage and haul to training too.
In our white fleet, we have larger vehicles that could haul if you needed. So
good.
If you're stuck, let me know, will you?
Yes,
I will.
they can help you out.
Yes, thank you. The job fair last week went really well. I had Deputy Wadley come with me. He works graveyards for us, and he's going to school. So it was great to be able to show the students that they can go to school and work full time. He kind of was glazed over and tired, but he was a good selling point for us, and that was really great. He was able to tell them about, you can almost get your minor in criminal justice while you're at the academy. You can stay enrolled, and so that was really good for us. Our jail K-9 obtained dual certification for the 3rd time, so we're pretty excited to see that ball get rolling and be able to utilize him in the jail more. And I know that you're all aware, but we do have a new inmate phone visiting tablet system. It's been hard, but we're getting there. It's been challenging. Our phone system has actually been great. The tablets, they have not been as well as great for us. They offer a lot on those tablets. They do a lot of further education. You can actually come in, start in kindergarten, and get your GED that way. I mean, but that's not what the inmates use it for typically. They use it for games and movies and that kind of stuff. But it's been very challenging. The visiting portion of that has been really, really challenging. So because they visit right there on their tablets, and the tablets don't function as well as we would like them to, hopefully we'll be able to get those errors worked out and try to find another solution.
On-site technician for those?
We do. We just actually IT April for the county is kind of in the evenings taken on that role, which I'm hoping is going to end, but she just started last week. So we're hoping that she kind of can understand it a little bit more, be a liaison between us and this company. That's been our biggest challenge. But for the whole time we were down for visiting for about 5 weeks, that whole time our inmates had access to the U.S. Postal Service. They had access to phone calls, and we also have e-messaging that they can talk to their loved ones, their attorneys and friends that way as well. So that.
Reminder that we have a fleet department that will help.
Thank you. He's watching too. Okay. Any questions for me?
Nope, I think that's good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shalon. Appreciate you. We'll go to commission. Paul, do you want to start?
Sure. I'll be brief. So the 800 South crosscut, they've poured that last week. It looks awesome. Did you go look at that?
I did.
It looks really good.
Really good.
And so they'll pave right down to that. And when is the road department looking at that?
This week or next week. They
Awesome.
wanted to make sure that it had plenty of time to cure.
Okay.
They didn't want to chip
Right.
it.
Newcastle Fire Station's coming right along. I went out and looked at that the other day. They've got the metal structure up, the floor's poured, they're framing. They were doing inside framing right then, and it's looking really nice. It's going to be a great addition for them. And then I reported last time on the riprap we found at Applegate's gravel pit. Appreciate them very much working with us. We had Curtis over on that flood channel just south of Holyoke Lane, behind that new subdivision. He did about 1,000 feet of riprap and just did a beautiful job on that. It's kind of a Band-Aid for now until we get the NRCS to do a major project, which would be a lot of money. But this will be good. We'll keep chipping away and helping Parowan City with that. There's some concerns, with erosion on those banks and some of the homes. We had a meeting. We encouraged the municipalities in the county to adopt the flood channel ordinance that we passed in the county to give us more room. So when they plan these subdivisions, give us adequate room to get equipment and trucks and things in on those banks so we can maintain those channels from the top. It's hard to do it from the bottom, and hopefully we can work on that and that. So one other thing. National Day of Service, just appreciated everybody everywhere doing some awesome projects. I went down to the Happy Factory and we trained about 10 new volunteers on the equipment, had them sign releases and trained them on bandsaws and sanders and drill presses and all those things to build toys. And so it was a fun day Saturday doing that, and that's my report.
Awesome.
Mike?
The fair went well. The fair's one of those animals that, once the gate opens, you're never prepared for it, but once the horse is out of the gate, it's not coming back, so you just got to roll with it. But
You're in the headlight on a couple of those events.
it went really well.
You did.
I got to be a ticket taker. Again, this is my third or fourth year being a ticket taker. It's brutal. I have we couldn't do without all of our volunteers and the folks that come out and help. Really appreciative to everybody's help on that. SU Aviation helped us out at the fair this year. Not only did they do the flyover for the parade, but we did a ping pong ball drop with prizes on the ping pong balls. I dumped the ping pong balls out of the helicopter. My reading glasses got sucked out of my pocket,
And then they found
and were
them.
turned into lost and found.
They did tie you in. I saw you leaning out.
I had a seatbelt on.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I had the seatbelt on. I wasn't
Like hanging out the side.
Yeah, no, I had my seatbelt on.
Were the glasses still functional? That's the question.
One scratch.
Yeah.
There's a one scratch.
Wow.
Yeah, 250
Amy
feet.
said they were dollar one, so
Yeah,
it wasn't
dollar.
a big
That's
loss.
all I have is dollar store glass. So it was just funny that they were turned in. Thank you for honest citizens. George and I met with Gold Cross this last week to try and coordinate or figure out what our issues are in the West Desert. It's interesting. There's mixed signals coming from the Washington County side of it, and I'll talk to you guys more about that later. But so one thing, it basically boils down to a staffing issue. Gold Cross is doing a couple of different things, and this has been in the works for a while. Right now, they're hiring 9 or 10 additional EMTs for Iron County, and they've changed some of their hiring criteria. It's a long story, and it's their story to tell. But they've done some things differently to try and for recruiting, kind of like we have to recruit folks. The other thing that they're asking. And George, I sicked George on this, and he's been all over it. A lot of our problem is we had some resident EMS folks out in Burl that left for one reason or another that are able to help cover those shifts, and we just don't have those right now. So through the fire departments, through George's group, the
Emergency.
the community, the community, the CERT.
CERT.
Yes.
Yes.
Through CERT, George has several active CERT members out there. We're trying to recruit some EMTs. Gold Cross is willing to come and hold a class out there, pay people to attend the class, and employ them part-time once they've completed the class in Burl. So,
Wondered if that wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
Staffing. All of us are having problems with that, and
yeah.
I'm sure it's worse out there.
Yeah, anyway, I'll fill you guys in a little more, but we're working on that. Economic development, I wish Danny were here. I'd brag on Danny. Danny received the Thane Robson Award for Outstanding Economic Development Leadership from Utah Department of Economic Development last week.
Wow.
It was a big deal. And he's awesome. We all know what he does. It's fun to work with him and feed off of his energy in that way. I was contacted by KSL that wanted to do kind of a follow-up story on the floods from a year ago. And so again, I sicked him on George. Maybe I sicked George on them. They ended up they had a story, an appointment set up with Cedar City to kind of cover it. I encouraged them to reach out to George, so 2 separate news stories came out. One Cedar City based, one Iron County based. I would encourage people to get on KSL.com and see if you can find those. George made us look really good. He loaded the news crew up and toured the whole county. He showed them every ditch. He showed them every bridge.
Sure he did.
He showed, I got a text. They're like, hey, thanks. Now we know Iron County like the back of our hands. But he made us look really good in that news story. And it was really good. We have, as far as the jail site committee, we're looking at a couple of dates the end of next week. I do have 2 more people that I failed to mention last time. We'll talk about at the end with our boards. But that's the biggest problem is been trying to get the most amount of people there. We're about going to kind of give up on that and try to offer Zoom and things like that. But
Yeah, that would be good.
But we had we've had
So
some.
are you going to try to do that like next Friday? Because we've got that conference until Thursday. So I wonder-
Probably. Yeah.
Sometimes
that's
Fridays are actually pretty good days. 'cause
Yeah, and so that's that's probably when it's going to be. The other thing is the Chamber of Commerce did their second annual ATV ride. I was out of town and unable to attend, but I coordinated all the medical efforts, made sure they had medical coverage. They're required to have a first aid person on each ride, so it was like multiple rides, multiple days. We were able to coordinate and get their first aid folks.
Mike was really involved with it, and he said it was a great event. It really turned out good.
So
So.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'll just hurry and I just wanted to thank all of our fair people, Joyce, Susan, Jamie, Debbie, Brad, and of course George, because George brought a lot of equipment in, which made it really, really nice for this for the fair. They did a fabulous job. We got so many compliments on all of the work that we've done and all of the improvements and that, and it was really fun. It was really neat. We moving forward, we're going to have to maybe look for some more seating or something because the events, a couple of them were totally sold out and maybe a little oversold. It's hard to know when you put new bleachers and stuff in when you have that much more. I did want to mention one other thing. The Southwest Junior Livestock Show took place this last during the week, and there was a really, really neat, one of the really involved families lost a son just before that, the week before that, and it's just, those people are just such a family community. They all came together. One of the kids donated their sheep, and they auctioned it off once and then again 2 different times, and I believe it was over 15,000 each time, so it was about 30,000 that they donated to the family. So kudos to all of those that participated in that, and it was a great event. It was huge. Brings a lot of people in to Cedar City to eat, and the kids are running back and forth, and even though they're very tied up with their animals, they are still running to the restaurants and stuff. But okay, well, we'll close our 9:00 meeting, and we'll take about a 10-minute break. We'll come back at quarter after, and we'll start the 10:00 meeting. Thank you. Okay, welcome back to Iron County Commission meeting. Monday, the 12th day of September 2022, the 10 o'clock meeting. We'll go forward. We'll start out with public comments, 3-minute time limit for public comments. Shouldn't repeat others' comments, only for items not on the agenda. No items related to commission role on appeals board, and comments should be directed to the commission, no attacks on others' character. Do we have any public comment today? Seeing none, we will go to number 2 on the agenda. Discussion and possible approval for a local consent for a single event to be held on October 31st at the Three Pigs Oasis. Is that you? State your name and...
Hey, my name is Rodrigo Grajales.
And I am Sean Lobb.
And we're with Zion Live Entertainment, and we're applying for local consent for alcohol permits at Three Peaks Oasis.
Very good. Anything else you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, so...
give yourself a plug.
Yeah,
plug
you
it.
might as well while you're here.
Sure, yeah. No, this is only my second or third time applying for local consent, and so it's a little new to me. So we've done some events back in Hurricane, St. George City as well. We hosted the Festival of Colors called Jeezy Fest, and we have done a glow party in Hurricane at the Old Fox Theater, both which we were granted local consent permits from. We've also worked closely with Three Peaks Oasis with Landslide Festival. And so we have a security team who is dedicated to making sure that the alcohol stays inside the dedicated beer garden that we have for all of our events which have the alcohol permits. We have an entrance and an exit. We also make sure to comply with any DABC regulations, and as well as have a bond for all of our events.
Cool. What's this event?
So this is a Halloween festival that we're looking to start annually at Three Peaks Oasis. Cool. Currently, Three Peaks has a haunted forest that they do every year. We're going to be taking charge of a live concert that we're going to be doing there with DJs and stuff. Hopefully, in years to come, we can bring out some bigger artists like Landslide Festival has. As of now, we're looking at about 600 to 800 attendees for just a live concert.
Is that open? Is this one an open? I mean, can anybody
anyone
in the
can
community
yeah, anyone
come to
can
it?
attend.
Uh-huh.
We do charge admission to the haunted forest and as well as the live concert. It's going to be about $15 to $20. Trying to keep the price lower so more people can attend it. Our live concert, we like to recommend it to be 18 plus, but we have no actual like IDing or stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. We're going to have pumpkin carving, face painting, the DJs, and then some other activities out there at the festival as well.
Sounds fun.
Cool.
Probably not swimming, huh?
Probably not swimming. It's going to be a little cold at that time. If you want to wear a bodysuit, you're welcome to get in the lake.
Oh, very good. Okay, I'd call for a motion.
I'll move to approve local consent for the single event to be held on October 31st at Three Peaks Oasis.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Good to go.
Thank you, guys.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to discussion and possible of a revision of a memorandum of understanding with the Bureau of Land Management to be a cooperative agent in the development and the environmental impact statement regarding evaluating amendments to the federal livestock grazing regulations, and we'll have Mike talk to us about that.
Okay, this is a memorandum of understanding that was adopted in 2020 when the administration first announced that they were going to revise the grazing regulations in the BLM handbook. And subsequently after that, about 3 or 4 months after, the Secretary of Interior put it on hold until they could reevaluate what was going on and if it was consistent with their guidance. And that has been completed now, so they're going to go back in and start the process all over again. And they reached out to Iron County because we had told them that we would wanted to be a cooperating agency in them regulation revisions. So this is just a letter coming back and saying, do you want to still do that? And if you do, please let us know. So that's where it is right now.
I think it's very important that we have input into that, and we've talked about it, and I'm sure you do too.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
A motion on that one.
I'll move for approval of the revision of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Bureau of Land Management to be a cooperating agency in the development of an environmental impact statement regarding evaluating amendments to the federal livestock grazing regulations.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay. Number 4 we'll go to on the agenda, discussion and possible approval of JAG grant awarded to Iron County Sheriff's Office to purchase equipment. Bree.
So I've already applied for this grant and we've essentially been given approval. We just need to get approval through y'all for it. The Sheriff's Office is planning on purchasing night vision equipment, and we'll be using some other funding sources, but CCJJ essentially gives us this grant. They tell us how much money we can use and a list of things that we can use it for. So that's what we'd like to use it for. It'll pay for almost 2 units. 1 unit is $3,500, and this grant is in the amount of $5,422. So it'll almost cover 2 of the 12 units that that Lieutenant Mitchell would like to purchase. So there's not any match or anything like that. It is a reimbursement grant, so we do have to pay for it up front, and then we'll be reimbursed. But I believe that it's a quarterly reimbursement, so the money has to be spent after October 1st, and then we would apply for reimbursement in January. So end of
Very
January
good.
we'd probably get the reimbursement.
Okay. Very good.
Any questions?
Yeah.
No.
No, I guess we'll give you a motion.
I'll move to approve the JAG grant awarded to Iron County Sheriff's Office to purchase the night vision equipment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Very
Can I
good.
get an
Approved.
autograph on it?
Sure. Whoever.
I'll-
Just down there. Man. No, I think they're going to give Sam a set.
Nice.
I did.
After all the training, so he's
Yeah.
all,
He's all.
he's going to be all.
He's
suited
like
up
the
now.
top guy.
Thank you.
He's the top gun. Okay, we'll move on to number 5. Ratification of a contract between Iron County and Kimberly Horn and Associates Incorporated for the Belt Route Access Study.
Good morning,
Richard
Commissioners.
Wilson.
Morning.
How are you? So I have given you a copy of the scope of work. The contract was also sent out previously, but I think this is a great scope of work that we have here. We were able to get offers or bids from a couple of companies, and this is the one we went to because they seemed to catch our need and vision the best, which was actually to determine on those major cross points on the new belt route how we would handle them, and that was our goal, was to provide some kind of expertise from a transportation engineering firm. We've got and they've listed them here. If you look at your paperwork, they've listed the ones that were our initial and greatest concerns. Let's see, I'm sorry. They're on page 4. The SR 56, the Iron Springs Road, the railroad crossing, Mid Valley, which is 4800 North, Lund Highway, Mid Valley, Minersville 4800 North. I guess they've written that down twice for some reason. I think they meant.
Sorry, Richard.
Yes.
Highway 56, Iron Springs Road, Railroad, Mid Valley, or 4800 North, Minersville Highway, and what else?
Well, if you look on page 4, they're all there, John.
Oh, here we are. Okay. I was trying to keep up with you.
Oh, that's why I was reading so fast, because
I
they're
talked
already
to Matt Rhodes
Uh-huh.
about
I was
the intersection.
catching my pencil on
And
fire.
I guess they're doing some type of a study on that intersection also. So
our 5600 is where the Belt Route crosses, which is about a half mile north of the Iron
but what I'm
Springs.
saying is, what do we need to do? It's so close, so we need to work with UDOT to decide what we do between those two, and maybe this study will help us decide that. But he said that by the end of the year they would have their study of 56 and Iron Springs.
Yes,
too.
and the city is also involved in that discussion.
He said that they were.
That question is very important because it is very close. They're both where the Belt Route crosses 5600 and where the Belt Route crosses Iron Springs Road, and then you come back to that
It's
like
a quarter of a mile or something.
Yes,
It's very
and
close.
so there's been a lot of discussion about whether whether we'll just have right-hand turns onto Iron Springs Road off of 56. In other words, you can enter it, but you can't exit it towards Cedar City. But you can exit Iron Springs Road towards Newcastle. In other words, only allowance would be right-hand turns at that intersection, because you would have an opportunity further up the road. And so it's a conundrum right now.
It is.
And we had talked to both Cedar City and to UDOT whether that's when I first heard of it, because we were getting this grant, and whether we would incorporate something because it was so close. And that's when UDOT said, we're already studying it. Don't throw any money at that portion.
Yeah.
And that was a nice heads up.
Yeah.
But this will help us with the other issues which we haven't, which we will be facing at some time in the future. So I'll just give you a quick reminder. I applied for this grant back last year, and it was awarded. We were awarded $100,000, of which we committed to $7,000 as our share. None of that $7,000 will be part of this budget. I've already talked to Dan about that. It'll be next year's budget. We'll line item it out as its own category.
How long does this take to do this study?
There is a timeline if you look at your last page.
And this will cover the intersection of Iron Springs and 56, that whole thing there that there's been a lot of concern about, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And that was when we started this discussion.
Right.
Was initially with that
kind of
new
initiated this.
Right. And so they are looking to April of 2023 to have their final story map. And so it'll be into the spring of next year before this is completed, which will be great if UDOT and other concerned parties have come together prior to that. Then we'll have a good picture of which one of these. There may be a solution that at that time that'll be a middle ground, even though UDOT and will have come up with one solution. Our solution will then be available to reconsider UDOT and see if those three intersections, how will they best work together? Because as you said, they're all very close. They're within a quarter to a half mile apart, and they're going to be three major intersections.
Yes, very close.
So thank you for the question.
Yeah.
I
know that I was talking actually at the stock show to Matt Rhodes. He was there with these kids too, but yeah, he said, I think everybody's concerned about those three intersections being so close, and the development that we're looking at with the inland port going into that area, and Port 15, and it's just a big, huge thing that we got to get it right. I think
Right.
that's a huge
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why, in cooperation with the building department and Reed at the planning, we're looking at a transportation master plan, which will extend beyond what's the city of Enoch and Cedar City have already done, and work this all into it. We're also looking at master transportation plans for the other communities, from Canaryville to Paraguna, and from Cedar City out to Burrell. They may not look as detailed as others because we're only looking at a few concerns in Newcastle, but we do want to make sure that we're looking out to the future for transportation master plans. And I said to Reed the other day, and our next one, which we are going to be so excited to start, will be a stormwater control master plan for the county. And we've been working on snippets of that, and you've approved the ordinances for building near the major channels, but I'm working on an additional one, which would be approval for development near minor channels, which will address things like the Walker Ditch or other ditches along Bulldog. They are not very big, but I've been watching what they're doing out there at the Walker Ditch with the development at Three Peaks. They're building their stone walls right up to where no equipment can travel to help that ditch. I guess the owners will have to volunteer to use shovels and buckets if we need to clear that ditch, because there is no room to work. And we're going to want to look at that and say, even if you're along a small ditch, I have a draft proposal which I'll present to the county planning commission, which would give us the width, half the width of the ditch plus operation room. And so it won't matter what the width of the ditch is. We'll just take half the width plus operation room.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's important.
So this is all very exciting to an engineer and probably pretty boring to the rest of you. But I would.
Hey, you're my kind of nerd.
Thanks, John. So with that, you authorized me to sign the contract with these folks and get this ball rolling, and I think we have chosen well, and we're going to be able to use this money wisely, and they've given us quite a good proposal, and I'm excited to see what they have to offer, because it may be
different than what we see.
I hope so.
Yeah.
More eyes on the.
Yeah.
You've heard me say this before, but if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm probably alone. So, with your approval,
yeah,
that's
let's
my
have a motion on that.
I move for excuse me, approval and ratification of a contract between Iron County and Kimley Horn and Associates Incorporated for the Belt Route Access Study.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Up there. Should we go to 7 and talk about that?
I will talk about 7 when it gets to it. I've written some notes, so if you'd like me to.
Do you want to just do it now?
Sure.
As long as you're there.
Ratification for the sale of the 2016 CAT 323 Track Hoe, and we'll let you talk about that.
So to give you some background, we received several proposals for a new track hole for the engineering department, and we went with a Century, which was a new Case, not a cat, right?
Case.
C&Ts, and we purchased that for $217,500. We sold our cat for $15,000. We have not received that yet.
115.
I mean, 115,000. Thank you, Commissioner.
Man, somebody got a
Oh,
somebody got a bargain.
I talked to Dan. We have not yet received that, but the receipt for that was just 8/29/2022. So they have 30 days to pay it, and we haven't gotten to that point. Wheeler purchased it. Now, they were one of the people who offered us a replacement, and we got through looking at things. At the end of the day, we paid $217,500 for our new track hoe. We're being given $115,000 for the old track hoe, which means our outgoing overall cost to us is $102,500 for our new track hoe. Now, had we gone with one of the other ones, for example, Wheeler, who bought it, and we appreciate them purchasing it, their cost was going to be out of pocket $140,000. After we purchased it and got our buyback, we were going to be $140,000. So the county spent $102,500 on the new track hoe, which, as you've heard from Curtis, he likes that machine very much.
Likes it a lot, yeah.
Well, and we were using that 323 over here with that riprap, and now that the monsoons events are over pretty much, and
we kept it on because of that, in case we needed it.
And we knew we had to have a window to sell it. We had to be able to put it out to auction.
I asked Curtis, I said, he's been down the road with these machines for a long time. He went through the
runs them every single day.
08 and I just asked him, I said, with the market softening, what, I think we ought to sell this machine. He said, I agree. He said, I said, what do you think we could get? He said, probably 100 right now, and maybe when everything softens dramatically in however long that takes, maybe 30 then. And so we started pricing, and then there was 4 rollers on the left side that were totally worn out, which was, I don't know how much that repair would have been. It probably would have been over $10,000 or $15,000 maybe.
Or more.
And so when we, and knowing that we were going to get 75 of trade-in from one company, and then
that was what Century had offered us. Yeah.
And when they came back and said we'll buy it as is for $115, we thought that is a smoking deal. So we felt really good.
And I think it's fair to everyone, Commissioner, because Wheeler's going to be able to do those repairs in house, and they're going to be able to sell that machine and still make a profit.
Right.
We did really well, and I want to just make the comment. I appreciate Bruce Anderson working this out with Wheeler and initiating.
He's got that relationship, and that's helpful, very helpful.
It's very helpful when we all work together and other departments help each other.
I think it was a win-win for everybody.
I think so too.
Bruce has a long history of making those kind of positive deals where everybody wins.
Yep. Right. Because the sheriff's department isn't here, we won't say drug deal, but
he likes to call them drug deals.
He does. That's what Bruce calls
Chip
them.
Anderson.
Drug deals.
So there we go. That's my.
Okay.
Let's
do a motion.
I'll move to ratify the sale of the CAT 323 track hoe to Wheeler Machinery.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Rich.
Thanks, Rich. Okay, we'll go back up to 6, ratification of the contract between Utah Division of Forestry Fire and State Lands and Iron County to improve and upgrade the Iron County paging and communication system for the first responders. And I don't see Ryan, so are you going to talk about this?
Sure.
Yeah, I figured Ryan would be.
I do too, because I know about it, but
I know ever
about
since I came on, they have been very, very concerned about our communication. There's been quite a few times that we were in trouble with our communication between the different agencies and that. So I'm glad to see this happening.
Let me find the text.
I do know that when he brought this before the commission to apply for it, this is now the approval for it. And yeah, it was one of those deals where being able to standardize some of the communication and getting some of that equipment.
Okay.
It was a good positive thing.
So basically what this is, it's just an updated agreement. In 2020, there was a request, and I don't remember exactly what the request was for, the upgraded radios, things like that. In the end, there's about $50,000 left of that money that was unspent. He wants to use that to purchase 800 megahertz handhelds for Newcastle and Borough Fire Department.
Yeah.
So basically,
We really need
the
that.
the leftover money, and that was, 2025, the state is going to change. Basically, by 2025, everybody in the state has to move to 800 megahertz, which is super expensive.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
this is just
How
getting.
much are they per each? It was like,
Hey Ken, what's an 800 megahertz handheld?
How much is it?
Yeah.
are they? I can't remember what he told
Oh, there's
me. a
Ryan.
lot.
I'm taking.
Oh, there he is.
I'm taking
right
care of you,
there.
Ryan. We got her done. We got her done.
They're
Look at
running
him
around
flying in low.
$4,000.
Yeah, they're about $4,000 a
handheld.
piece just for the handheld radios. So
Mobile's more.
Holy cow.
They're expensive.
yeah.
So
So this will get us way ahead as far
if you
as.
get a dual band if you get a dual band that runs both 800 and VHF, then it's
Look at him. He's out of breath.
$6,000.
He's been running.
they're expensive.
Oh, gee.
Anyway, well, hey, I got you done. I think we're ready for a motion.
Yeah. There's a,
I'll even make the motion.
perfect.
Move to ratify the contract between Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Land Iron County to improve and upgrade Iron County paging and communication system for first responders.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The done deal.
Thanks for coming, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Okay, I think we go to personnel. Jennifer.
Real quick before you go on, Ryan, are you happy with the way Newcastle's looking? Or have you looked?
I honestly haven't even been out there.
Oh, okay.
I heard it looks really nice.
It's looking good. I was out there last week. It's looking nice.
I plan to go out and take a look at it this week. So
Good. Yeah, it's going to be a nice addition.
that's great.
So.
Yeah, really good.
Thanks again for all the help.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
In the Sheriff's Office Patrol, Brian Green was selected from the most recent competitive recruiting process to backfill the vacant full-time Deputy 1 position, effective October 3rd, 2022. Brent Burr has expressed interest for transfer and was selected from a full-time Corrections Deputy 2 to a full-time time control. Let me start over. Brent Burr has expressed interest for transfer and was selected from full-time Corrections Deputy 2 to a full-time patrol bailiff effective October 2nd, 2022. In the Recorder's Office, Aaliyah Abbott was selected from the most recent competitive recruiting process to backfill the vacant full-time Deputy Recorder Ownership Specialist, effective September 19th, 2022. And in the Assessor's Office, Linda Bishop has expressed interest and was selected from the most recent competitive recruiting process to transfer from a full-time Justice Court Clerk to a part-time DMV Technician Payroll and Office, effective September 18th, 2022.
Nice. I do want to give a shout out to Brent Burr. The fair, they have just done so much great stuff at the fair. He is just amazing.
He is.
So,
5 mile picnic.
and the 5
Yeah.
mile. He's done
Right.
all those fences. He's awesome. And John, that's taking over, I'm sure will do well too. But Brent, the girls at the fair are just crying
I know.
that he's going.
I agree.
Because they just love him. But anyway, can we get a motion on the personnel?
I'll move to approve under personnel A, Sheriff Patrol, request for approval of new hire, Brian Green as full-time Deputy 1, backfill a vacant position, effective October 3rd, 2022, and also request for approval of transfer of Brent Burr from a full-time Corrections Deputy 2 to a full-time Patrol Bailiff, effective October 2nd, 2022.
Should we just approve all what Jennifer said? That's what we've been doing.
Did we go through? Okay.
Yeah, she went through all those.
Real quick.
Didn't you? Yeah, she did
Okay, well,
really
let's
quick.
just add the others as well to that motion.
Yep, to that
Okay.
motion.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jennifer.
Appreciate it.
On
County boards?
I
You
just
got
have
some-
on the jail committee. I failed to mention one person initially, and then I was contacted by a second person asking to be involved. The first is Zach Garfield, who owns property on Horse Alley down in that industrial area. He was involved from the beginning. I forgot to mention his name. I left him off. And then I was actually approached by Councilman Craig Isom from Cedar City and asked to be involved. So if that's okay,
Do you
just
wanna-
ask that Zach and Craig be included on that list.
So move.
Is that a motion? Oh.
Sure. I will move to add Zach Garfield and Craig Isom to that list.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Got them on there. Now you got even a bigger.
Yeah,
bunch.
it's good. We're gonna shoot for a week from Friday to meet. With that being said, Dan, did you send out that material that we talked about in the? Okay, Dan's gonna send out some, basically all of the material that we have so far with, drawings and presentations and things like that. Dan's gonna fire that out to the group on email. And did you guys both get it?
No, we didn't get it.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Have you gotten the original email? You and Paul
yes.
are both on there.
Yes.
Okay, because I had several come back
Oh.
as undeliverable.
Oh.
And then I called them. They're like, "No, that's my email." And so there's been a lot of texting and phone calls back and forth outside of the email chain.
Yeah, I saw that one where you was trying to
Okay.
figure out a date.
Yes. So.
But
Yeah, we'll have that. I'll have that solidified.
I would say that is totally required that they go through all of that material because that's really important to be able to understand all of that.
Yeah, Dan's gonna. We sent out what Reed and I came up with as far as the minimum requirements, but Dan is gonna fire out everything that we've got
Okay.
to make sure everybody has that.
Yeah, really good.
We'll go from there.
So I don't know what this one is, but we have printed on the agenda, appoint hearing appeals officer. Does that mean anything to you?
Yes, I'll speak to that. Sorry. Reed had an appeal or a request for a variance, and we don't have an appointed appeals hearing officer. He asked that we put this on and asked the commission to appoint the Cedar City, specifically Tyler Romrell and Randall McCune as to handle the variance requests and things of that nature. So we don't get them very often. Reed said that the last one we had prior to the one we have currently was I think when Paul Bittman was the city attorney. So
that was a while ago.
It was. If things change, the city said they may ask to change the appointment. But at this point, they were comfortable if the county is comfortable appointing Cedar City as the hearing appeals officer for that purpose.
So would it be Cedar City or Tyler Romrell and Randall McCune? I guess.
If you put Cedar City, then you could change the
Cedar
people,
City
maybe.
Attorney's Office?
Correct. Could we just make it more general, Cedar City Attorney's Office, and it would be assigned to whomever Mr. Romrell would decide.
Okay.
But that's pursuant to County Ordinance 17.08.040, appeals hearing officer, and the county commission can appoint that officer.
And just say the Cedar City Attorney's Office, is that?
Correct.
Okay.
So we need
sorry.
to approve
that would be
that?
what I would suggest, whatever they decide.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify what you were proposing.
Yes.
I'll move to appoint hearing appeals officer as the Cedar City Attorney's Office.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other boards or things?
We're still working on restaurant. Maria and I, Maria was here, but
She
she's
left,
not.
yeah.
We're gonna actually call a board meeting for the remaining board members to try and figure out new board members. So that's
okay.
in the mix.
I think we need somebody else on planning and zoning also, right?
Are we down?
The
We're
one-
down the one
yeah.
from Enoch,
Yeah,
right?
from Enoch, and I think they were working on someone to get for that, so.
Yes.
Okay, other than that, I guess we can adjourn.